Forever. Dog.
Some loves are meant to be. Others are cursed. This week on the podcast, Cami Garcia and Margaret Stohl's Beautiful Creatures, with art by Cassandra Jean.
Hello, welcome to Teen Creeps, the podcast about YA pulp fiction. I'm one of your hosts, Lindsay K-Tai.
I'm another one of your hosts, Kelly Nugent. And today we are joined by a wonderful, very special guest. We chose this book because he has a comic book coming out. You may know it as Hex Wives from DC Vertigo.
Kelly, you are botching this.
Yeah. No, listen, here's the thing.
I mean, this sounds like me giving an intro.
Everyone thought that I was you.
They were like, oh, is that Lindsay? Because it sounds like a terrible Lindsay intro.
He is the creator and host of the Writers Panel here on Forever Dog. He is the co-creator of Thrilling Adventure Hour and also TV. We have with us.
Co-created TV.
He co-created TV. He is 400 years old. I don't know how old TV is.
Years?
TV was introduced in 1236.
All right, give me that phone, Kelly.
We have writer Ben Blacker here with us. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to just go ahead and repeat the why we chose this book.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Why were we tricked into choosing this book?
We all, none of us felt good about this.
Thank
choice.
you for having me on your very first podcast.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
We've actually, this
so
is
it's a little, it's funny though, because we have done over 100. But,
over 100 episodes, but it does seem like this is the first time we've ever talked to each other.
Or to a guest.
Yeah.
I understand if I make you nervous. I'm podcast royalty.
You are.
I get it.
Yeah. I mean, you kept emailing us that you were podcast royalty.
Right.
And I kind of nagged you by not including that in your intro.
Rude.
Yeah.
Because
Rude.
I'm alpha.
But thank you for bringing the crown.
Oh, of course. You
I appreciate it.
look great wearing it.
Yeah. And I
thought so.
like that you asked for a tiara.
Yeah.
Well,
It's daintier. It's prettier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's shiny.
Because the crown is like ostentatious.
Yeah. And it's very aggressive.
This is a subtle, exactly. The crown's too aggressive.
Yeah.
Too aggressive. But actually, to me, you are podcast royalty.
I
Because
get it.
I think you are.
To Writers Panel for
Is that
so
right?
long. Yeah. I would listen to it and go,
that's so sweet.
it's possible. It's possible to be a writer. This is a real job. People do this.
Yeah.
And then you saw that I kept doing it, and we're like, oh, maybe this guy will never be a writer. And so maybe it won't happen for me either.
happened
thank you.
for
That's
me.
very nice. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm always glad to know that other people give a shit.
Yeah.
It's always nice to know that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just nice to hear those smart, funny people talk.
Sure.
And know that it's a real job and it's inspirational.
Agreed. And people
Yeah.
can find it right here on Forever Dog Network.
Yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, proof
Yeah.
that you are, in fact.
You're the
We get it. You're better
grandfather
than
of
us. We get it.
podcasting.
Yes, me and
Jesus.
Jimmy Pardo.
Yeah. You and Jimmy.
Aw, Jam.
and
Yeah, so,
So
we
we're doing
chose,
this book.
Beautiful Creatures, the manga, or manga, if you're
What did I
fancy.
say? If you're a white guy with swords on your wall?
trying to say manga. And we chose that because you have a comic book coming out in October. Is that correct?
It's out on Halloween,
Yay!
Sweet.
Favorite holiday.
right?
Yeah.
The best one.
I love Halloween. Yay, yay, yay.
Yeah.
Are you
That's
doing? Do you
perfect
do
timing.
something for Halloween? I had this long conversation with my wife and some other folks last night about dressing up for Halloween and dressing up as an adult.
Yeah.
Or being an adult dressing up.
I like to
love
dress
dressing
up,
up as an
Yeah, I
adult.
like to dress up for Halloween. But I also this year I think I'm either gonna go to Salem or to Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Cool.
Are you going to be in that part of the country?
No, I'm going there for it.
That's amazing. Have you ever been to Salem?
No.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I hear it's very cool, and I'm very into like creepy, witchy type stuff. Like if you could describe me, I'm like as like if you're gonna pick movies that are like me, it's like practical magic mixed with The Craft.
Yeah.
But then also like
The Shining.
the like only the parts where like he's freezing to death.
Or there's blood coming out of an
That's
elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exciting. I hope you do that. I think Sleepy Hollow, that part of New York it's kind of boring.
Oh, really?
I went to school at Syracuse and I have family up
so
there.
you're like,
okay.
been there, done that.
Yeah. But I grew up in Massachusetts, and even having grown up there and been to Salem a bunch of times, like it's really neat. The history of it is really cool. And they've done a great job sort of bringing it to the present conversation too.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a stain on our history. Like, but
How so?
I'm not familiar.
I don't. Isn't Salem just the name of the cat on Sabrina the
Cute.
Teenage Witch?
Meow, meow.
That's all I know of it.
Yeah, it's a whole town dedicated to that fictional cat.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Also,
The town
my
is
speed
named
as well.
after the
Very
cat,
into cats. So,
But yeah, you have a comic book coming out on Halloween called Hexwives.
I do. And it's about witches.
and
it's
it's about
right up
witches.
your alley.
yay.
So that is why we chose specifically Beautiful Creatures, the manga. Since I'm white, I'll just give in to that.
So this is, I didn't realize this, not to, get ahead of it.
No,
and
go for it.
Shanghai your podcast, but this is an adaptation of an existing novel.
Correct.
Which I did not realize.
I
really?
until I got
did
to the
not
end of
know
it.
that.
okay.
I did not know that until
didn't?
this moment.
Yeah, it's a novel. They made a movie out of it, and then they made a manga.
Okay, so I saw the novel and I was like, unrelated, and then like bought the manga.
That's what I thought about the movie, which I realized after finishing, I have seen. And was
really?
like, it rang no bell.
Really? So the whole time you're like, what an interesting, different story than anything I've ever consumed. Wait, so, okay, the movie then, does it end like where this ends, or is it like part of the, you have no idea?
I could not tell you.
Could not
Han
tell.
Solo is in it.
Yep.
He is?
He's the
But I
boy.
only discovered that later.
He's the boy?
Who's and this does not bode well for this book. Do not remember his name.
Ethan.
Thank you.
Ethan
It's
and
only his
Lena,
name.
right?
Ethan Wait. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then Lena is the girl, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. I think this is a bad choice. I think that we failed you.
This is the thing. I don't feel bad about it. I think we
Okay,
can make
good.
it work. And also,
I have no fears for this being a good episode, but I was like, I so wish I was reading the book instead of this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Like, I feel like we can attack this on several levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my first question is, this is not a Teen Creeps book.
No.
Like, this falls outside the scope of what this show is. And which,
Well, it
you guys know,
does-
I've told you on Twitter, I'm a big fan of the show.
thank you.
Thank you
It's
so
really
much.
nice to hear
Thank
that.
you.
It's
Yeah.
great. But this is not the usual kind of thing you do. And I think the novel would be a little closer, but it's still
Yes.
not right.
It's
Yeah.
sort of, it is and it isn't because, oh shit, when was this written?
I think
That's the main
09.
thing that
It's late.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that makes it not a Teen Creeps book, but we did Twilight.
Right.
So every now and then we'll venture out into a newer book. And this is about witches and there is a romance. So like this certainly covers things that we talk about. So if we were reading the book, it totally would have been
prose
fine.
novel.
But reading the manga, I was like, fuck, I don't want to read this. It's so difficult for me.
Was it
And-
really?
Yeah,
Why?
well, because I don't read comic books or graphic novels.
Okay.
So switching around, my brain just doesn't like having to try to take care of the visuals and the dialogue. And also I miss the narrative aspect. Like I want to see what the language, like so now I want to read the novel because I'm very curious about what the voice of the book is.
Me too. And I know I've read comics by Margaret Stohl.
Oh, really?
And I think I've met her. She may have even been on the writer's panel at one point.
Oh my God.
I've done a lot of episodes. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But
400, right?
yeah. But I've at least met her, and like her comics are great. And it does make me curious about what her prose writing is like, because this book was a huge success.
The book or this manga?
The novel.
Okay.
Yeah, the book.
The mangas, I don't know.
I don't know
Yeah.
either. And I will actually tell you, Lindsay, I do read comics and graphic
Right.
novels. And yet I had some trouble like understanding
the
what was
layout.
happening. Or like I felt like some of the picture and this is not to say I don't want to diss Cassandra Jean at all. Illustrating is a very difficult thing to do, and I think it takes the place often of like the prose where it's like, this is what's happening. This is the feel. This is the mood, whatever. But there were many times where I would see a panel and I would be like, I don't know what is happening or what I'm supposed to feel or like what, like it was very confusing. And I do read comics and graphic novels. So that was a little bit of a challenge. And so I imagine if you don't ever, I was like, you must be completely not knowing what's going on.
It was a lot of work for my brain, honestly. I was like, oh, okay, which panel am I supposed to be reading? So like things would be given away because I'd read the wrong panel and then I'd backtrack to see how we got there.
Oh, because you were looking at the wrong one.
He saved her. I was like, okay, so I'm going to go back and figure out what he was saving her from. So I think that my Halloween thing, also. I was like, what the fuck? Is this real? I thought he was having a dream. We can get to that.
But that's
as
interesting.
As somebody who's written comic books, how did you feel about the layout of this?
I agree that it was, I think she's got toned down. And there's a lot of it I really liked, especially in the first half, where you don't have to follow a lot of action.
Yeah, the action scenes were hard.
Yeah. But I find that hard anyway. Like my brain just doesn't work that way. And I tend to sort of gloss over action stuff in comics. I think it was a tough story to tell this. I also don't read manga, which I know is sort of
me too.
Its own
that might be its own thing.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that in here. And there's stuff I liked that I think was ported over from manga. Like when they say there's a sound effect of a thing that's happening, like hug.
Yeah, I like
really
that too.
That.
Or like what?
That is
like I liked that a lot. And it reminded me a lot of like anime, which I do consume. So then I was like, I consume it. So I was like, oh, this is because I literally have not ever read manga. Ever.
Me either.
So I was like, oh, I see how like
the stylistic differences and
and the art style was a little like at times anime-ish. Especially
I felt like it was way anime, like especially him.
The drawings of Uncle Macon.
I thought for sure that a young Japanese girl was going to get raped by that dude.
Oh.
Was there a Japanese girl in this story?
No, he just looks like that. Like, have you ever, there's this movie called Unico that's an anime, and there's this real creepy...
their sizes are weird. Different. You can get free tailoring there, though.
They're perfect for me.
Not
they're
the same
perfect.
thing.
Oh, really?
It's not the same thing. Okay.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Okay. Where there's this really creepy section where this magical unicorn boy turns a kitty into a girl, and then a dude who looks exactly like that kidnaps her and roofies her. So that's why I was feeling that way.
Then they really did the job of making that guy creepy for you.
I felt it very strongly. But Ethan, he's got like super anime hair.
He has anime hair.
Anime clothes.
Wait, do we know what color his hair is? Because like we have some...
There are two pages
brown.
in color.
Boring.
I wanted more pages in color.
I did too.
Yeah. Because that's when everything started to get really confusing for me.
On page 5.
Yeah.
Well, so...
Yes, I'm not... even kidding. And I welcome you making fun of me, but I was like, I can't make out the lines or they're shading or like, okay, they're reading each other's minds. Well,
yeah, it asks you to understand the difference between a word balloon and this sort of other, like this.
When they're telepathically.
Yeah.
Which I thought it did pretty well because her, telepathy was coming through in black background. His was gray background, and then all the spoken words were in a no background.
Right. But it was sometimes hard to tell who they belonged to, who the tail belonged to.
Yes, that was the hardest thing. The tails were all over the place.
Yeah,
and that might be. I have found in my limited comic book writing experience an editor problem. It's like that's the kind of thing that the editor should look out for because they're really there for clarity.
Right.
You know, the best thing
like
about
the
best and worst thing about comics is that it's such a direct collaboration. There are so few people involved. You know, it's the writer and the artist.
Yeah.
And then the colorist and the letterer overseen by the editor who's there to sort of make sure everybody's working well together.
And they all have a like super large part of communicating the story.
It's the voice of several people, unlike a movie, which is like hundreds of people.
Yeah. That makes sense. Kelly, would you like to read the inside jacket of the book?
Yeah, because she got library bound.
Library bound.
Nice.
There were no surprises in Gatlin County. At least that's what I thought. Turns out I couldn't have been more wrong. There was a curse. There was a girl. And in the end, there was a grave.
Exactly
Okay,
as
buddy.
intended.
Ethan Waite, who has been counting the months until he can escape from Gatlin, is haunted by dreams of a beautiful girl he's never met. How did we say her last name?
Oh,
Duchan?
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Duquesne?
I like Duchan.
I feel like Duchan is like Frenchy, and they're kind
Should
of
we
like.
go watch the movie right now?
I
Yeah, we'll do
actually,
that.
honestly, I turned on the movie partly to find out what the fuck.
What streaming
the
service is it
pronunciation-
on?
Netflix.
Great, I'll watch it. Is it good? It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, great.
It received mixed reviews according to Wikipedia.
Oh, cool.
I skimmed through it because mostly because we were talking about how difficult it was to follow action. I was like, I'm just going to dip in and watch those action scenes, figure out what the fuck.
Was it a fairly direct translation?
My guess is it's a more accurate translation of the book.
Oh, okay.
But there were some weird changes from the comic book that I'm, again, very curious
We
as
need
to
an
which
expert.
had it right. I know. We need to have Margaret on. And the other,
Cami
Tommy?
Garcia.
Gammy Garcia and why don't we just bring in Cassandra Jean too?
To explain herself.
Explain herself.
Hey, Cassandra, what were these bubbles?
So when Lena Duchan, a girl unlike anyone Jackson High has ever seen, moves into the town's oldest and most infamous plantation, Ethan is inexplicably drawn to her and determined to uncover the connection between them. In a town with no surprises, one secret could change everything. This atmospherically illustrated adaptation, blah, 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 no one cares, because that's talking about whatever, and we're done.
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, that
no
was
problem.
great. Yeah.
Okay,
we'll have you on
check this
again.
out.
Because I didn't realize that he lived on a plantation, although I guess I should have from what it looked like.
Yeah. And the flashback.
The flashback stuff, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
have questions for you guys
you?
about did any of you
into
guys feel icky when they were like doing the flashbacks?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean because they're Confederate?
Yeah, because they're fucking Confederate, and then it's
For
like
a lot of reasons.
yeah, they're Confederate. They make a slave help them.
Yeah.
They but then it's like supposed to be like, oh, but she cares about the slaves because she wants to. The
I was
Union
gonna
soldiers
say.
are burning the slave. Like it's very kind of like gross. I was like, ew, I don't want
Well,
to read this.
I will say this.
What?
They're in the South.
Yes.
If you go back 100 years,
Sure.
which side do you think they're going to be fighting
Right.
on?
Sure.
And I think what they were trying to do to mitigate that is make
Right.
them friends with one of the slaves and treat her not like a slave.
That's sort of my bigger icky problem with this whole story is it's about a bunch of white people in
That's what
The
my
South.
issue. I was like,
South.
why
Yeah.
do we not see any people of color? That
Well,
was like
His
his Emma.
Yeah.
she's black.
But that's like, but also
But then-
she's not even a main character. She's just a helpful person that's like very mystical.
I
She's
think
his
she's-
servant.
Is she?
She's
That's
his,
the impression I got.
She's his nanny.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was his
Humor.
grandma.
But it's
No.
supposed to be that she was.
I'm sorry, did you say
friends-
mammy or nanny?
I said nanny, but we
Okay.
all know what I was thinking. It's supposed to be that she was friends with his mother.
Right.
Well,
And
she
then she
took.
felt obligated when the dad like pieced out into the bedroom forever.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it also like I got the impression that she was like maybe the nanny of the mom at one point.
She's definitely older, so I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. And then it's just literally all white people.
And then also when she does her magic, it's like too close to voodoo.
Yes.
To like
Agreed.
Oh wait, what happens with her magic? I think I did
at
not
the
pay
end.
attention. What does she do?
it's
at the end,
when
right?
she meets Macon when Ethan follows they were saying it Amma in the movie. Ethan
Oh.
follows Amma, would have said Amma.
Me too.
Especially because
'Cause the
sharp
MM.
objects.
Oh yeah, that too.
And she's like talking to Macon, and it's very much like their magical tribes are different. It's almost like they perform different
Right.
kinds of
I
magic.
noticed that.
So
yeah.
it's not like she's not one of them where she's like exactly born with powers. It's almost like I perform rituals and speak with elders kind of
that's
a
right.
thing.
Right, because she's a seer.
Time-stopping elders.
The grand ones or
the great ones.
Great ones.
Yeah.
The greats, yeah.
Yeah.
I think...
And so that is also icky.
Yeah, and again, part of that it's not even a flashback. They are like in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the grossness of that, which is sort of the non-racial grossness of it, which is sort of pervasive throughout this adaptation, is I think all subtlety is lost in a comic adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the book does a much better job of easing us in and out of that stuff. But here it felt like, and we can talk about this as we go through, but like plot things just happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm certain that's not the way it is in the book, but it feels like left turns and things are just handed to the protagonist. Like, here, this will move the story forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there was this thing that I felt about it where it's like the white characters have magical powers, and then Amma has magical black powers.
She had to work
it
for
was
hers,
magical
and they were given
Negro
theirs.
thing. Yeah, it's like she's not born with power like they were. She's just a conduit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
And she seemed more just like mystical, like the way they were portraying her, which wasn't
it was so
great.
like tribal. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So maybe the book is more nuanced.
I
And
would imagine, but
who knows?
that's all of that said.
Yeah.
Problematic as some of this stuff is, I actually enjoyed reading this. Like,
I did too.
It was a fast read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could tell the characters apart, which is not always the case in this kind of thing. Like, especially in the first half, I liked the characters. I was rooting for them. I didn't care so much about the plot.
Yeah.
But it kind of didn't matter because it was a fun ride.
Yeah.
I liked the high school stuff. I liked the Heathers of it.
I
thought
liked
that
the
was fun.
Heathers too. I liked the high school stuff more than like when we got into which is silly because usually we're like, yay, more supernatural stuff. But like once it got into like, is she claimed? Is she not claimed? Do you have a decision? It is I, your mother. I was like, whoa, all right.
It was a deep, and this is the thing I've had to contend with in Hex Wives is like, what are the rules of magic in this world? And I didn't feel like there were any.
It was very unclear.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to figure out. And again, I'm sure in the actual prose novel, we get to understand the rules and how the turn at the end breaks those rules. But here it just felt like, oh, okay, this is happening now.
So, so the rules as I understood them were some people are casters. And if
which are witches.
Which are witches. And if you are a caster, but then you can also have magic if you're not a caster because that's him.
Right.
Ethan has like magic-ish.
They never say what the magic is.
And when
I
they're
was
like
so irritated by that. That he has powers.
Yeah.
I was like, what powers?
And then the
powers to be your boyfriend?
Well, and the moment where like everyone's like, I told you he had power. I was like, wait, what did we see? Because it's literally nothing. He like runs up to her where she's like dreaming.
Well, what I gathered is that, is it Serafina?
That's the mom.
Yeah. The super dark mom. She somehow did get a hold of Lena. This is the problem is I'm like, I think this is what happened, but like I read it. I should know what happened. Got a hold of Lena on Halloween and was putting some kind of hex on her. And
so far, this is a great
Ethan, there you go.
Thank you.
And making her into some sort of wife through a ceremony of marriage. And he could hear her telepathically, like screaming for help.
What?
Right?
Wait,
is that in this book?
Yes.
Wait, no. What Halloween? What are you talking about?
On fucking Halloween, she's like, I can't hang out with you. It's too risky.
Yeah, and so she's
like at home in bed. And then all of a sudden he hears her screaming in his head. Right. So he runs to her, finds them all standing around her, trying to control the magic, and then throws himself on her body, stopping the magic. And they're all like, I told you he had powers.
Oh, wait, right. And they're like, he protects her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's his power.
That he's protective. Maybe he like nullifies like outside magic.
Just some man coming in to protect her.
Yeah. There was a little save the girl stuff a lot.
I disagree.
This is what I'm curious about. You guys have read a lot more of this sort of teen romance thing. And it feels like, on the one hand, that could be problematic, right? Like there's this Twilight thing of I can save you and take you away from here.
Yeah.
Also, we may never have sex.
Yeah.
Everything is pure.
And then when we do, demon baby.
Exactly. Which I think is all
is in here.
It's all in here. Like this is definitely a child of Twilight.
Yeah.
But it's also a
came out in
trope.
the same. No. Twilight came out in 2005.
Yeah, I think early
never
2000s.
mind. Sorry, go ahead.
But it's also a trope of this genre, right? Like, when you pick up something like this book, that's what you're expecting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, you had no problem with it, but you did have a problem.
Yeah, I just had a different interpretation, which is that he's just some boob who lives in the South, and then this whole plot is taking place, and he's like, can I help? No, I'm just going to get shot at the end, and you have to save me? That's how I interpreted it.
I interpreted it as if
because he's not doing shit.
He's not. I mean, he merely his presence, I guess, kind of helps. But then he gets stabbed.
Like he's Bella.
Yeah.
In my view.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, she's like the way she's portrayed, and because we're in his head, it felt almost not completely, but almost like a Born Perfect Yesterday type of trope of like.
I certainly agree with that.
Yeah, where it was like kind of like. I don't know.
But like literally she's the one who has to save him.
She does save him, but I think that there's like different. How does she save him? She does a thing and then Macon dies?
She makes
the book.
She uses her
the moon
nature magic.
Yes.
Right.
To make the moon go away. So no choice has to be made.
Yeah, which I'm like, the moon still exists, you guys.
Yeah. But also, and then here's another thing too, which is like if we go into the depths of like what is more like female power, like healing and nature powers are traditionally like, if we see in these tropes, more of a woman's power and then like destructive powers. But she does have destructive powers in the beginning. So I don't know.
She has destructive powers
She's kind of like
in the
Phoenixy.
end.
She's kind of like Dark Phoenixy. She's like, oh my God, I can't control everything breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally what she is.
Would have liked to see more. Like
I wanted more.
I wasn't getting the metaphor from this book. Like the thing we love about Buffy, right?
Yeah.
Is it plays the metaphor so hard, especially in those first seasons.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see, she's 15.
Yeah.
Something bad is going to happen when she turns 16.
Yeah.
I want to see that. But you framing him as the Bella makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like I would have been more intrigued, I think, if this was from her point of view.
I think, it would have been more interesting.
Especially because like.
Although then we really would have disliked him.
She's the only one things are happening to. She's the only one truly. And so not only is he the Bella, but he has like no story in this.
He's the
no story.
Yeah, he's like the
he's Bella Watson,
or like the Nathan or whatever that dude's name is in fucking Great Gatsby, where he's like, "Let me tell you about my friend Gatsby. Everything's happening to Gatsby."
Yeah.
Nick. There we go. I was a Nathan. Nick.
What's his name? Nathan or something.
Like it's like that. Like very.
Yeah, he's a bystander.
Yeah.
Who also happens to be a love interest.
Right. And that was powers? Question mark.
And I so my theory, and again, I read it, I should know, is that because, so in this Civil War flashback, we discover that an ancestor of Lena's and an ancestor of Ethan's were in love.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan gets shot by Union soldiers. And Genevieve, Lena's ancestor, why didn't they both have the names?
That was so weird. Yeah, I
was
know.
Like, why is his name Ethan, but hers isn't Genevieve? Whatever.
Why can't you make my life easy?
Just like, if we're going to do it, do it. You're really half-assing it.
And it would have been cool if like Lena was somehow short for Genevieve or something. So it's not even super, because then you can have it not be super on the nose, but still like make sense for parallels.
Yeah. Or here's an idea. They don't have the same name.
Yeah. He could just have a different
name. So he gets shot. She has powers, goes to the Book of the Moon.
Yes.
And searches for a spell to prevent his death or bring him back from the dead.
Yes.
Super dark magic. It's not guaranteed, and it will cost her something.
Mm-hmm.
So on the not guaranteed front, doesn't work. He still dies. And in the cost her something, her whole family is cursed forever.
But some of them are witches. Some of them are monsters.
Like
her uncle is a succubus.
Yeah.
Incubus.
I didn't get...
No offense
no.
to succubi out there.
Stop trying to claim we are succubi.
Whatever you identify
as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get why some people were...
binary.
Yeah. I didn't get why people were, like, some were casters and some were, like, non-human.
Right.
And then how is he related to them?
Unless a caster is technically non-human, if that's part of the...
Sure.
The filing system for monsters in this world.
They're technically not human.
Yeah.
Because in watching, it's so sad that I was like skipping through scenes of the movie to go, okay, I just want to be clear on this. The mom, Serafina, who steals Mrs. Lincoln's body, who's the mom of Ethan's best friend,
Link,
is played by Emma Thompson, for one thing.
Absolutely.
Didn't know that.
Never sheds her skin, unlike in the manga. I loved it.
Cool.
She like cracks
when
in half and
splits. That was cool.
And
like
then
a
she's just
peel.
like fucking badass.
Some other
witch.
lady walks
where she's
out.
like, "It is I."
Yeah,
and we're like, "Who?"
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, I don't know her.
Right.
I don't know her.
I need a Shazam for faces.
Yeah. So in the movie, she doesn't shed that, or at least I again was skimming. Maybe she does at some point, but not through the big battle. So there's this whole scene between Serafina wearing Emma Thompson drag and Macon fighting in a church, and her saying all these things like mortals have had their time, they're awful. The typical, very typical speech that a supernatural or alien or robot being says of like, humans are nothing but worms. They're like, they just consume blah, blah, blah. They're wasting the planet and they've had their time in the sun. So yeah, they're not technically human.
Okay. Yeah, right. Also, they keep saying like mortals too.
Yeah.
So I assume they are mortal. Like amortal, maybe? Like they're not, they're like not.
They're neither mortal nor immortal.
That's great. I'm stealing that.
Go ahead. Immortal. Yeah. So
wait, so
that's that.
So this is a Twilight situation.
Yes.
Where like,
I think
she's a monster,
totally.
he's a human.
And it's like all this like other like warring stuff happening with this supernatural world where you're just like, what am I doing here? I'm just being.
I'm just a human.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was going to say. So I think maybe any of her direct descendants, as opposed to the family, is cursed.
Okay.
So
exactly.
Wait, so I have a question about like, okay, so we know that if you're bad, if you're bad, what is it?
If you're a dark caster.
Okay, dark casters versus
light casters.
White casters.
Light.
I think you're reading between the lines.
I just did such a little shit-eating
True.
Okay, so if you are a dark caster, your eyes are golden.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you
for reasons.
In this black and white comic.
Right. God, and they kept saying it. So we only know that their eyes are golden because it's like a circle instead of like colored in.
Yeah.
So my question is, so remember how Genevieve, like she does it and then her friend, the slave, is like, your eyes are gold. And she's like, what? So is she like the first dark caster?
Oh, maybe.
Like, did she create that? Like, did she create
dark casters?
Like, then this fold of like, you could become a dark caster or you could be light?
That was real shitty.
In what you were describing as
I think
the history, that's what it sounds like to me. I didn't get that from the book, but I'm not a good reader.
Okay.
So.
Well, shouldn't have had you on the show.
Pleasure having you.
Yeah. Want to talk about a video game or something?
Kelly can talk about that with you.
Okay. You know what? Can't talk to you.
Okay, we can talk to each other about how we're not good at video games. We found common ground.
So hard.
They're so, and I don't care in the end.
Exactly.
So it's funny because I had it in my head of like the curse, but I wasn't even seeing the possibility that what it is she created light and dark casters.
I'm just wondering because like
I think that's right.
Because when she does it, it's as if no one's ever seen something like that.
Yeah.
You know what?
So
it's canon.
All right, great.
Yeah,
It's canon. So she created like casters. that book, I mean, or maybe recreate it, or you know what I mean? Like maybe it had been dormant.
And that sort of
Yeah.
introduced it to this family, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's no way to
There's
know.
There's no
way.
Look, we can't
We
go
would have
online.
had to read the book
read the book.
and the
We can't watch the movie.
What do you think the other books are about?
I mean, just like her being maybe bad.
Because
You know?
at the end,
It could
She's
still
half
go
bad.
either way.
so the whole thing is that this is a thing that will happen on her at the end of her 16th birthday when the moon comes out, moon magic. And it's not your choice. It's not like a Harry Potter sorting hat, which is shitty and makes not that much sense because in terms of Ridley, it's like she was fine and then all of a sudden she was horrible. It's like, okay.
That seems like when my sister turned 16, she was horrible.
Yeah, and then forever.
Yeah.
That's what happens
Never
to
changed.
women. Yeah, I guess it's maybe sort of like Buffy where you just straight up lose your soul.
That is what it seemed like
It does seem like that.
because remember when Seraphina's like trying to convince her. So we learn basically that like for most casters, you can't choose. I mean, you're just like you're either
chosen.
good or evil when you're 16.
Right.
We learn that something that Macon's been keeping from Lena is that she can choose.
Yeah.
But if she does, it's like, you know, law of thermodynamics where it's like someone has to fucking die. So it's like Macon has to die if she chooses to be good.
Yeah, that plot turn, like this is
That
all
was
in the last
weird.
20 pages. Like that was a bullshit turn of events.
It was very weird. But it's not just Macon. It's anybody who's not a light caster. So
That's
because
in her
he's not
family.
specifically a light caster, he's an incubus.
It includes him.
That includes him.
Then why is Seraphina still alive afterwards?
Well, everyone
because she doesn't choose.
She doesn't
Oh,
choose.
she doesn't choose. So
In
then
the
why
end,
does
she
Macon
doesn't
die?
choose because that was the price she paid for saving Ethan.
You're right. You're right. For Ethan.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Wait, so what was the point I was trying to make that I brought up?
What happened? What could possibly happen in the other books?
Oh, right.
So it says at the end, like, so the whole thing was 16. And I was like, what the fuck is this? He pulls out his iPod and there's a song on there called 17 Moons where when he had the dream, in his dream, the song playing was the 16 moons.
So they just do this for 4 books?
Probably.
Oh, God,
because at
it's
the
like
end,
18,
she doesn't
19.
choose.
Right.
She has both a yellow eye and a green eye, which I thought was very weird that like, so all the good ones get green eyes, whatever. So she has a green and a yellow eye, which means she could still choose or she's both. But then now that he's got a song on his fucking iPod called 17 Moons, does that mean that she has to do this all over again at 17? What the hell?
I don't know.
We need to read the next book.
mean, I think,
I guess we need to read the first book.
Yeah.
It does make you appreciate, and I don't think this is a bad book. I think it's actually very good.
Yeah.
And I imagine the novel is even better, but it does make you appreciate the elegance of like Buffy and Harry Potter and the worlds that were created by these writers they're so understandable. Yeah. You know,
it's just like simple
but
rules
Yeah.
that are clearly articulated to you that then everything else follows.
Right. And there's so much about the characters.
Yeah.
And not the rules. Because the rules are the least interesting part of any of these.
There's a lot of this
stories.
is about the rules.
Yeah.
I think, and it isn't even a knock against the like medium or the writer of this or the artist, but it's like this couldn't possibly capture the book. Because this has its strengths and it doesn't match up. So if you're writing an original story, I think that this format can tell a good story. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to adapt a full novel into this format, it's like I don't imagine that it's easy to do one or the other.
Yeah, there's
like a lot of people had problems with Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. With the movie. Yeah. I think there's something to that. And I'm sure you know this as a writer that like when you come up with an idea, you have to know where it belongs, what the medium is, right? And there's a reason I decided to pitch Hex Wives as a comic. Yeah. And it is a comic. Like it feels like a comic. It felt like that from the from the conception of it.
Yeah.
Whereas other stuff that like Acker, my writing partner, and I have done together, we've been able to say, well, this feels like it has the legs to be a TV show. It lends itself to that medium, or this is a 2-hour story. It could only be a movie, or this has to be a novel, whatever it is. And that translation process can be so difficult. And clearly it works, but this clearly is best as a novel.
Yes. Or maybe it could have made a good comic book series, like a normal comic book where it comes out
a serialized
every week.
Story.
Yeah, and it's a very serialized story. But yeah, it kind of makes you appreciate both the strengths of a novel and the strengths of a manga, and then you like can fully appreciate the fact that they are their own formats.
Yeah.
And it may be also why the movie doesn't work is it ought to be a TV show. Like this feels like
a TV
it
show.
works as a slow burn, which is why the novel is probably much better and why it would be a TV show as opposed to a movie, and trying to cram all this stuff into 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or 200 pages.
Yeah. Which, like you said, it's Harry Potter like beat the odds of being able to do that. And then Buffy was definitely in the right medium because when it was, it not working as a movie was an entirely
many reasons why it
different
didn't
thing.
work as a movie.
That was separate. It could have been a movie.
I will
Wait
say
for our spin-off podcast, everyone.
Yeah.
Actually,
She already...
I have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast.
And an
I
Angel
had one.
podcast.
We've finished with Angel and everything.
Should we start again?
Yeah, we'll start again.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was Hellmouthy.
I gotta find
Yeah,
this.
give it a listen.
We watched from the very beginning, and then once Angel came around, we watched it in the order that they aired. It was a lot
I bet.
to do, but it was fun, and it was interesting to rewatch it again and like kind of have someone to talk about it with. And
it's also the origin of this podcast because I was a guest. We found out we both like Christopher Pike. Decided to start a podcast. So now it's come full circle.
It totally
now
has.
you're starting another Buffy podcast, but with
Just
Ben,
gonna keep going.
who was a guest on this one.
It goes like books, Buffy, just forever.
That's really funny.
Dog.
Good one. I want to talk about something that I thought was very successful in this book. And I thought the character of Ridley, the stuff with her, I fucking loved. And I
wanted more Ridley.
The panels where like in the part where she is using her, so basically she has like almost like purple man like powers where she like can make you like do stuff.
She's a siren.
She's a siren.
Yeah, she's a siren. Yeah. Which so is she a caster then? Because everybody is still a caster.
This is what I found.
Is there a taxonomy?
They should have a glossary for this.
Here's what it is. They're all casters, but they all have different strengths.
Well, they are, but then remember he was like, I'm not a caster, I'm a succubus.
Yeah, because he's not.
Sorry, oh my God.
Well, he's straight up not a caster.
Right.
Being an incubus isn't his like caster talent.
Right.
He's just straight up an
incubus.
incubus. He's not a caster.
I guess the thing that's confusing is they use the word siren, which is a creature.
Right.
So then it's like, is that...
Yeah, but she just has the power of seduction.
Yeah, she can basically influence you to do anything she wants.
So that's sort of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she like rides into town like on a cloud of chaos. Like comes in, is like, what's up? I'm sucking on a lollipop and I'm wearing some sunglasses.
I'll come back to that because you're making a point.
Oh, sure. So she is pretty much always seen sucking on this lollipop.
It's fucking crazy.
It's like a million licks.
Bizarre.
It's not going away. It's probably just like a marble. So she's sucking on this marble.
She's lying. It's a fucking marble.
She's fucking lying. She's making us believe it's a lollipop.
I think she doesn't know.
Someone
gave her a marble.
Yeah, someone gave
but it's a lollipop.
And she's like, I like it.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. One connection to this stick.
So I loved her character. I loved like that she does this whole thing where she, for Lena's birthday, she like brainwashes the entire town into thinking they're friends with her. So that way, because she's been an outcast.
Very funny.
And so she like sets up this party where all of them are like, yay, we can't wait for Lena's birthday. And Lena's like, oh my God, I've always wanted something like this. But then she's also a dark caster, which we learned because she never takes off her sunglasses. Her eyes are gold.
I did not even get that.
Yeah, I was like, why is she always wearing sunglasses? Eyes are gold.
I thought she was just super cool.
She is very cool. She drives a convertible. She sucks a lollipop, and she wears sunglasses.
And she has power
fancy.
over everyone.
She's power over
font.
Hey. But there's the moment that I really loved, and I loved that it was done as like still panels, was when she's convinced Ethan's dad to jump off of a balcony.
That was a really good scene.
It was a really good scene.
It was a really fucking good scene.
And
honestly emotional scene.
See it coming.
No, I didn't.
No,
know
me
that.
neither. And so she's like,
But it was still in character.
Yes, totally. And
again, Twilight.
Is that right?
Is it?
James makes Bella think that he has his mom.
Oh yeah,
Has her mom. Sorry.
What is happening?
Anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Everything after Twilight is a descendant of Twilight.
Yeah.
Even the Descendants?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
They go to Hawaii.
I almost had. Jim Rash actually got the idea from
I was thinking about the Disney Channel series of films.
I was thinking about the very sad movie.
You were just making a joke about the movie in Hawaii. Cool.
So she's been sucking this lollipop the whole time. She like convinces the dad, like, you got to jump off this building. And both Link and Ethan come, and
Link, who's in love with Ridley.
Is absolutely in love with Ridley, and Ethan realizes that, like, whatever influence that she's put on Link, the feelings he has for her are above and beyond. Like, he truly loves her.
But then also, does she loves him?
I think she does.
It seems like it.
I think she does.
I think that's where it plays out.
Because he just whispers something in her ear.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is.
does not hear, so we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, and then she lets his dad go.
Yeah, she like takes the lollipop out of her mouth, tosses it, and it breaks on the ground, and she's like, fuck it, I don't care. And then like leaves.
So symbolic.
Which
was really well done, though.
I think really heavy-handed symbolism works in graphic novels.
100%.
Yeah, I had
really
no
well.
problem with
like
that.
stuff that's like knocking you over the head. Like in the part in Astonishing X-Men, which is one of my favorite parts of a comic, is when
in the current run,
in Joss Whedon's run, was when Kitty Pryde is like, oh, you thought that something about like you thought I was like some like feisty piece of shit, whatever.
Thought I was some feisty piece of shit. Classic Joss Whedon dialogue.
And she's like about
so quippy.
She's basically like in the inside of this hollow bullet that's like gonna hit the earth. She's phasing the bullet so that it does not hit the earth. So she's like losing like consciousness,
herself.
but she's like also communicating with Emma Frost, who's her like mortal enemy. And she's like, "Are you surprised?" And she's like, "Astonished, Miss Pride." And that's like the titular thing. And it's so cheesy, but I love it.
But it works.
In a fucking comic book. I love
it's
that.
soap opera, right? Like that's what you get away with in a comic that is particular to that medium and to, I mean, even opera and soap opera. But like you get to be bigger than life. You get to, space is at a premium in a comic book. There's not a lot of real estate. You have to sort of you have to
utilize
say the strongest thing.
Yeah.
And that is, I remember that now that you describe it. Like that's an amazing moment.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes like if you're just really fucking good at that, who cares?
Yeah,
it's still satisfying.
If you can pull it off emotionally,
Yeah.
which that scene that you're describing in Beautiful Creatures does, in a way that I don't think anything else in this book does.
That was the most
Not quite,
resonant
yeah.
scene in this entire piece.
That was the moment where I cared about what was going on.
About the characters.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm genuinely like feeling something for Ethan right now. I'm genuinely scared that he's going to jump off this building.
And
we hadn't even seen the dad once.
Link.
I think
we see him at the dinner table.
But he's just a sad
He's a zombie
guy.
guy.
Which is why I didn't remember, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
He's forgettable. But I think Link is also a great character.
So
and that
good
feels
there.
like such, like he's a funny, likable, and not very deep character, but he's well drawn. So you like him. And then you get hit with this scene where he's given depth all of a sudden.
Yeah, and he really
this
matters.
It matters.
Yeah. His character matters not just as like a best friend role, but like to the story.
Totally. It's really well
and
executed.
matters to Ridley.
Yeah.
Like, and that is so like
who has a similar thing where she just seems like a shallow character, but then you get this. It's Cordelia.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and it's the moment when Cordelia, and I'm thinking specifically of when Buffy's had that shit fucking day and everyone's being shitty to her, and Angel's just been, I think it's season 2, Angel's been like terrorizing her and whatever, and Cordelia comes in and like says something bitchy to Buffy, and then Buffy's like, can you give me a ride home? And she's like, of course.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that moment where you're like,
there's a human here.
Yeah.
I also really like another very similar Cordelia Buffy moment with episode 1 of season 2 when Buffy's being a giant bitch to everyone.
When she was
and
bad.
Cordelia's like, this isn't a good look for you.
Yes.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. So like, I liked this, that we then were like, oh, okay, it isn't just like the bad girl that rolls in a convertible and like the silly jock.
Yeah. That reminds me of what I wanted to say. Why are all the girls so trashy?
Because
the girls are dressed so trash. But like they're also super Christian. So wouldn't they be more like cardigan?
No.
I'm just very curious.
Doing it up the butt to not break your fucking hymen is like, that's like the version of their outfits.
I feel like that actually belongs with the cardigan type and not with them because they just straight up have sex.
I'm just like picturing like, it's like similar to Sharp Objects. Like the people that live in that town are like very holier than thou, but like dress like wet seal.
It's just like, it's those camisoles where the bra is also showing and the skirts are like so short. I'm just wondering if this was an artist's choice or a novel or taken from the novel, because then when you watch the movie, not like that at all.
Well, also, okay, this was 2009. That look was in.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was an in look. Like skanky, trashy look was like in. Like I dressed like that. Like I was like,
we all did.
We all wore. Like,
how do you expect the boys to control themselves?
Here's the thing. I didn't want them to. I was like, come and get me, baby.
Oh, sexual desire. Gross.
But yeah, so that might have been like a mix of like everyone in this town is trashy and it was the look.
Yeah, maybe.
I do wonder how much the writers talked to the artist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In making this. Because the book was already out and probably successful by the time they decided to make this adaptation.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if it was a choice in here. Because like either way is valid. Like I see your point. I would, if I were just reading the type of characters, think that they weren't dressing that way, that they had a different style. So I'm just wondering if it was the artist or the writers.
And they were a little hard to differentiate.
Yeah.
But
the Heathers?
That may be the point.
Well, the trouble was when Ridley came on the scene and she was dressed exactly like that.
Yes, I agree. But
she had that lollipop and sunglasses.
She had that lollipop.
And a convertible.
And maybe pigtails. I'm not totally sure.
I could see that, but I don't think she did.
Who knows? There's no way to tell. It's right in front of me and it's very easy to flip to a page in a manga.
So
but
heavy.
Okay, so generally, so like skeleton wise, what happened in this story is
Are you kidding me?
yeah, let's get to that.
let's do this really quick.
Actually, can I see the back of your version then?
Is it the same?
There's a ton of information on.
Is there?
Is there more information?
No, well, hold on. I think yours has. Never mind.
I'd like you to know I had to order this 3 times from Amazon.com.
Really?
Because your show is so popular that it keeps
kept
selling out.
I'm sure.
Well, it may be out of print, so you had to get it from
I got Kindle. #Kindle.
All right, must be nice.
Well, we will reimburse you for the book because that's what we do.
It's all right.
Okay, really quick. Let me see how quick I can do this.
Okay.
Ethan, he dreams about a girl.
I love their work. What time is it? An hour and 13 minutes.
3 hours in.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Okay, ready? This is we'll put in the notes. First, listen to this part, and then go back and listen to the beginning.
Hold on, you have an editor.
No. It's too much work for Brett. We can't do this for them. Okay, ready? Ethan, he lays in a bed. Oh my gosh, I woke up. there's a girl I'm dreaming about, but it feels like I know her. Do I love her? There's dirt on my bed that's never really explained.
I can't see her face. There's just black hair everywhere.
Yeah, I just know that she has black hair and I love her. Okay, going to school.
all been there.
Oh, there's also she smells like lemon and rosemary.
I'm going to go to school. Oh, there's my friend Link. He plays in a band. He's funny and he's a jock. I'm a jock. I secretly like reading. I don't tell anybody because everybody at my school is a rube. Okay, I'm at school.
Oh my God. We got to talk about that part.
Everyone is so awful and mean and shallow and terrible. And all the girls are blonde and they all dress really like spaghetti strappish. Okay, now... Oh my gosh, there's a new girl at school. She's so beautiful. Everyone thinks that she's like pale and weird and gross and witchy.
And like instead of spaghetti straps and being blonde, she has black hair and wears giant skirts and Converse.
Yeah, she's like Urban Outfitters witchy. So then, oh my gosh, not only that, she is Ravenwood's niece. He's a creepy guy who never leaves his house. No one knows what he looks like, but his house seems haunted.
He's a Boo Radley.
Which I know.
They name checked him.
I know, which I know because I read books. I love To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh my gosh, she just said her favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. Are we meant to be? Okay.
Oh my God, no one else in the world has read To Kill a Mockingbird. Again, we can come back to that part.
Everyone thinks reading is so dumb.
Fucking God.
Everybody bullies her. Can't believe this. Oh my gosh, she's getting mad. All the windows are breaking. She runs away. Everybody in the town hates her for being too violent, and they're weirded out by her. I'm gonna go follow her. We have a connection. What's this? This is a locket. Oh my gosh! Now we're like in the past. We're Union people.
Nope.
I'm sorry. We're Confederate people.
Yep. We're wearing gray.
It's probably hard to tell because this is in black and white. Okay. Oh no. The guy got shot by a Union soldier. Oh God. I gotta save him. Oh. But now I get this book, and my friend, the slave, is telling me like Ivy is telling me, don't read the book because she's wise, and there's like black mysticism here, which is really not great to read in 2018 or 2009 for the matter. Okay, I'm gonna read from the book. Oh no, I'm Genevieve. I'm gonna give up something from me. He's coming back for a second. Oh no, he's dead. My eyes are gold. I maybe started the evil thing for the whole rest of all my descendants. Back to the Future.
Marty McFly. He wakes up in bed.
Ethan is like, I'm going to go to her house. Oh my God, I'm meeting her uncle. He's not what I thought. He's like so handsome. He could be a movie star. He's a succubus. I'm meeting the rest of the family.
Incubus.
There's like incubus. Everybody in the rest of the family is like different varieties of magic because they're all casters.
We got a healer. We got a Sybil. We got a Ridley. We got a, by the way, I am interchangeably using names and powers.
Yes. They all can either heal or make things look different or be a siren or whatever. They want me to stay away from her because they're like, oh, we have to protect her and they're not supposed to be together. But we're going to be together. And then
there's a whole middle of a book.
There's a whole middle of a book. I don't really remember.
Of a book takes place. They're trying to figure out how to break the curse.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, lots of trying to figure out how to.
It's the end.
They go to the library. They're like, we got to come back during the right hours. They leave
for the secret library.
The Casters
They're only
library.
open on Labor Day.
They're only open on Labor Day.
That was such a weird rule.
Which also we're recording on Labor Day weekend.
Open on bank holidays. It is specifically said.
Yeah.
Yes.
So funny.
So they go in, they're like, we're doing all this research. We can't find the book. Where's the book? Oh my gosh, maybe the book is buried. The book is buried with Genevieve. Let's dig up Genevieve. Hi, Genevieve. You're a ghost. You're outside your grave and you want us to dig up the book.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
Hi, so nice to meet you. We get the book. Oh, you're gone. Now we're gonna read the book. We don't get what's in the book.
It's in other language.
I'm Ethan. I'm touching the book. Ouchie, ouchie. I'm not supposed to touch the book. It hurts my fingers.
Right.
And he's like,
and also when he touches her, it hurts his fingers.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, it's hurting my fingers.
Oh, ow, electricity when we kiss. Literal.
Yeah. And he's like, this is kind of nice, but I don't know what it's like to do more with you because we're being really slow with how we move. And then
also it takes us 2/3 of the way through to actually say we're boyfriend and girlfriend.
When they finally have that conversation, I was like,
also, as soon as Ridley shows up and she's bothering Ethan, Lena goes, stay away from my boyfriend. And then suddenly 2/3 of the book, they're like he's like, blah, 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 my girlfriend. And she goes, is that what I am?
And also like in their telepathy.
Like, do you want to be?
Oh, and then
is
Way too late, you
so
guys.
cliche.
they become boyfriend, girlfriend. She keeps writing like different numbers on her hand because it's like how many days
Right.
left until she turns 16.
That was cute. I could see that working in
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, that it's like a very interesting device. Then she's like, I can't be with you. And he's like, what? And I'm like, what? And she's like, I have to,
Everyone.
and we're all like, what? And she leaves. And
And
then
Ben's like, what?
yeah, we all were like, what? For no reason at all. Brett's like, what? So then, but then she gets over it really fast and she's like, I'm going to make snow for you. And then he's like, wow, this is how you say you're sorry. And she's like, yeah. And then they're
Just
like,
wanted
kiss.
to make peace. I was like, huh? Okay.
Okay, I guess.
I guess
That was a
that's
rough 2
thing
pages that you
yeah,
had.
like,
Yeah. It was literally like
Wow.
2 pages.
Yeah.
It was so hard to be a part of her, that page, those pages.
But the way they were, it was very, and I know we've talked about Buffy a lot. It was very season 2 Buffy Angel, like
Oh, yeah.
faded, like so doomed, like teen
We
dream.
can't be together.
But
Yeah,
without the subtlety.
yeah, exactly. It's
Or
very,
time
Right.
or
But I
depth
think,
of feeling.
again,
Yeah.
if we had been in her head, I think that would have played where she was like, I have to back off from you.
yeah.
Because it
Or in the
theoretically
novel.
works. Yeah, or in the novel.
Yeah,
I think
but
it
like,
would
yeah,
have worked.
no reason is given. All we get later is, I wanted to keep you out of this. And it's like, you already wanted that. We all knew that.
And that was always a thing.
Yeah.
Like, so she's like,
Anyway.
but now we're back together. Okay, but now,
Let's spend as much time together as possible. It's almost my birthday.
oh, it's your birthday.
Shake your booty.
Shake your booty. Shake your
It's
tail
your party.
feather.
That was a weird part.
Yeah.
Again, we're like, what?
Wait, so what happens there? It's her birthday.
Then the last 20 pages are like, oh, here's everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, here are
And
all
then
the
it's
made-up
like,
rules we
oh,
didn't
fuck,
tell
it's
you
your
about.
birthday.
There
Ridley
was-
shows up. Hey, I started a rave for you.
Oh yeah, that was weird. And then we see the rave, and it's not a rave.
It's just people standing around.
It's a fucking barbecue.
And she's like, I want to have a date. It's a barbecue.
That's what it
it's
is.
a southern ass barbecue.
It is. I'm hungry. So
Me too. I just
Right.
had Swiss cheese and turkey when I woke up. I was running late.
What are we doing?
I was hoping Brett bought pastries again, but he didn't.
Again?
Oh, he didn't. I know.
Hold on.
The
Well,
other
Let's pause
times,
this.
I
He
know. The
texted
other
us. He
times
was like,
he's bought
"Ben's
pastries,
coming."
and I was like,
Yeah.
Really?
you know what? He's not like.
me tell you
It's
something.
not like required. He shouldn't. It's not like he said he would always have pastries ready. I was just like hoping because I'm
But
hungry.
you had them at one time.
No, yeah, and he
Yeah.
texted us and he was like, I just want you to know usually I get pastries, but Ben's coming.
Interesting.
And he's
He
like,
said
you
that.
do the math.
Last
said
weekend
that.
I was
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I knocked out 3 podcasts.
Wow.
I was here from
Oh.
like 10 to 5
Wow.
o'clock or something.
So did
anyone bring
I
pastries?
bet what it is. I bet what it is because you kept calling him Brett when his name is Bread.
bread.
Oh my God.
That's the thing. He was
That's
like, the
so
day he calls
embarrassing.
me bread, I will get him another type of
By
bread,
my
which
proper
is
name.
Yeah. Also, I just realized that this joke came from before we started recording.
yeah.
But
You know
who
what?
gives
Leave it in.
a
It doesn't
fuck?
matter. It doesn't matter.
If you really wanted to know, you guys would have shown up at the studio. You don't love us as much as you think you do.
Oh yeah, we learn all the rules.
Kind of. They're thrown at
They
us.
say them.
They say
They say some of them. And then there's a fight. Ethan gets stabbed by, is it snake arms? Or is it
Yeah, there's a He-Man character in it also.
I think it's Seraph.
Seraphina?
Oh, wait, so that's her power is to hold a knife?
It's a good power.
That is so fucking dumb, dude.
No, it must be Larkin. Also, I did not understand Larkin.
Oh, no, it's
I
the
thought
other
Larkin
guy.
was friends with Ethan this whole time.
Who is Larkin?
Larkin,
No,
that
because
dude.
Larkin shows up at the end, and I was like, "Who the fuck
Yes,
is that?"
It's his brother. It's Macon's brother, right? Shows
But why
up
does he seem so
No,
young and
it
out
hot?
of nowhere.
It's Ridley's brother, which I learned
From the
by
movie?
watching the movie.
No,
Okay.
I think they may have simplified
But
it for
I
the
thought
movie.
Larkin was in. I thought Larkin was in school with them. I
No,
thought his
Link.
friends were Link, and Larkin.
No, he only has one friend.
I thought he had
Link.
2 friends.
No, Link.
What? Oh my
Link.
God. I told you I had trouble reading.
No, there's
Facts.
this guy who shows up at
No,
the
there's
end.
a guy who shows up at the end. He has different hair than snake arms, and I was like, "Who is that?"
I'm telling you, I
think it was
it's
Larkin.
Incubus's brother.
What?
Yeah, because he
I
talks
thought-
about And he's like, yeah, we're both incubi, but he's a bad incubi.
Right.
Incubus.
Oh, he drinks blood. He's the one who bites. He bites Macon.
And he throws a dog.
When he threw the dog, I was
care for
shocked about the dog. Because I was like,
how dare you?
Boo! The dog is named Boo.
Every fucking
right.
Wait, the dog is named Boo?
The dog is named Boo.
Boo Radley.
That's on the nose in a lot of ways.
That's a little much.
Also, it's not even, I'm not sure you can classify it as being on the nose when it's like, he has no qualities of Boo Radley. Why is everybody so fucking obsessed with To Kill a Mockingbird?
Because it's
not
the
like
South. It's the South.
Like, but it's not like it has a connection to the story, and yet they call the uncle Boo Radley. They're both reading the book. They're reading the book in school. Then the dog's name turns out to be Boo. It's like, why?
I got it.
What?
Oh,
I had to look it up. His name is Hunting.
Why did we think Larkin?
Yeah. Hunting is the brother who shows up right at the end.
Is a ruthless incubus and Macon's brother. Unlike Macon, he feeds on blood.
Oh,
which
right.
gives him
Also,
a more
then he's a
youthful
vampire.
appearance.
What the fuck is
No,
up?
they're not vampires. She wants to make that very
what
clear.
I was about to say. I was like,
they
what?
are.
He asks Macon when he discovers he's been in his room eating his dreams, which is what an incubus kind of does. But he's like, are you a vampire? He goes, no, don't be stupid.
Right.
And it's like, I don't drink blood. I was like, but so wait, you are a vampire. You just don't drink blood. It's the same as with Lena. She's like, witch is so stereotype. I'm a caster. It's like, okay, but bitch, you are a witch.
Yeah.
Which
and
is sort
bitch,
of a
you
slur.
are a vampire.
Yeah, the
she's
vampire
like,
thing.
that's a slur.
Also, like, I didn't
Okay.
know there were incubi that drank blood. Like, that seemed like such a, like, we're just going to put that name on it. I'm going to look it up.
I don't think that's I don't think that's
fuck
a
is
canonical
Larkin?
incubus.
I felt like he had two friends this whole book, but Link was the better friend.
He's not. There's no Larkin listed in the characters.
Wow, what the fuck?
I think Link just looks different sometimes. Is he wearing a hat sometimes?
But then he's all of a sudden, they're like, Larkin, you're dark too. And he's like, yeah, why not?
I think that's Snake Arms.
That's Snake Arms.
Snake Arms guy.
Is evil.
It turns out he's evil.
He was glamoring his eyes.
He shows up.
That's right.
Yeah. And he
yeah.
shows up with the other nice caster family.
Right. And why was there any
girl.
question that he was evil?
Also, an incubus
He
has
makes
sex
his
with you
arms
while
into
you're
snakes.
sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did one of our earliest Thrilling Adventure Hour episodes of Beyond Belief, where it was like the Thin Man with Ghosts was about succubi.
Yeah.
Man with
And
ghosts.
the idea of like how stupid these monsters are. Where like they just show up and seduce you. Like they're just trying to get laid. Like,
Yeah,
that's all
that's
these
it.
monsters try to do.
That's their great.
And they do it at night.
Right.
Yeah.
So then what the fuck is Uncle Macon doing
The end.
in his room?
He's in Ethan's room.
Yeah, I know.
Eating the parts of his dreams that would make it clear who Lena is.
Is that right?
Yeah. He was like, that's
He
why
says-
I can't remember my
yeah,
dreams.
And he's like,
Convoluted.
I pick and chose which parts of your dreams I wanted to eat.
There's
also, he's
so much
wearing like a
going on.
smoking jacket in there. I was like,
yeah.
dude,
What?
like, wear clothes.
You are a
You're
Dracula.
you're in a 15-year-old's room. Stop.
Yeah.
You're in a
acting
pro.
like a straight
when-
up Dracula.
yeah.
when he
Nosferatu,
when Ethan
motherfucker.
wakes up and sees him there, he's like, okay, are you a vampire or a perv or both?
And he's like, actually, neither. I'm an incubus and I'm eating your dreams, but my brother drinks blood, but don't say that he's a...
Also a little
He's
bit of
an
a perv.
incubus.
Yeah. He's a perv.
I don't know. It's such a convoluted history and like
And-
backstory to this.
Yeah, the
Mythology, I
mythology,
guess, is the word.
is not coming through in this version.
No.
That's, I think, probably the biggest loss in the translation from novel to manga.
Still, I feel like we did a good job on this book report. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're doing a book report.
Yeah. We call them out loud book reports. Mhm. There are other ways to say it? No.
No. Yeah, I think also maybe if a little more, I know that we said that with like inherent in the genre of manga, subtlety doesn't pay off. But I think if we had like learned everything we learned in the last 15 pages, like throughout the book, I think it would have been more digestible.
Yeah.
There's a doling out of plot that could have happened, which I assume happens in the novel.
Yeah.
in the way that even like Harry Potter does. Like she'll sort of sprinkle hints as to what could happen throughout that just didn't play in this.
No.
But it is certainly capable of subtlety. Like the scene we talked about with Ridley is like a really subtle emotional scene. And there are a couple moments like that, even when Ethan and Lena are dancing. Like it's really beautifully drawn and you get the intimacy between these two characters. So there's a way to put that plot stuff in throughout, and I'm not sure why it wasn't there.
It just felt like it was being told to us.
Yeah.
Yes. It doesn't feel lived in
Very rushed.
at all. We are not able to live in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That said, I'm going to read all the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what happens.
And the manga. I'm not even going to try.
I gotta know what happens.
Now I have to read the fucking book.
After I finished it yesterday.
There's too many books to read.
I was like,
too many books.
I was like, do I just download the next one? Like, I was like, do I just come having read the entire fucking series and be like, guys, listen up. I know everything about this series. Yeah.
But also I still have questions because it was all in pictures.
Yeah, I'd be like, can you guys tell me why in book 5?
But I can tell you this happened.
But that was Beautiful Creatures. Even though we had a lot of complaints with it, I do agree. I enjoyed reading this. Yeah. And I would say if you enjoy manga and if you enjoy graphic novels and you haven't ever read manga, read it. I thought it was fun.
It's a fun, easy read. There's a lot to like about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Or if you like the story, read the book.
Yeah.
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 I think we can all agree, don't see the movie.
It's fine.
I think I'll watch it. It's on Netflix.
That's pretty good.
I'll watch it and see how I feel.
I mean, I saw snippets, so I can't give you a full picture. But what I saw, I was like, this is well done.
It's got Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
There you go.
She can't go wrong.
There you go. She's always good.
Yeah.
I think Viola Davis is in it.
Viola Davis is
always great.
Amma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Well, great.
Oh, and Jeremy Irons is
That's good casting.
Is Macon.
That's pretty good.
And I was like, oh shit, this
Cosmo
is
Bulow?
shit. I wanted to see who was playing all the characters.
I want to see what,
and then
some screenshots from the movie now.
Emma, what's her face? Is Ridley. She's on Shameless.
Oh, yes, Emmy Rossum. That's great casting,
Emmy
too.
Rossum. She's
Really
fantastic. She is living it up in the movie, and she is very good.
I know I've seen it.
I'm looking at pictures of Jeremy Irons in the movie. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
But that was a part of the movie that I was like, this has nothing to do with the manga, but I want to bring it up anyway. They all have a different Southern accent, which happens so often.
Most of them
movies.
are English.
Yeah.
Too many of them are English. And so Ethan's accent is just straight up like generic, like Alabama Southern, even though this does not take place in Alabama. Macon's accent is like high Savannah, Georgia or something, where he sounds like that character that we all have and do at every moment where we pretend that we're a Southern lawyer in a very hot courtroom.
Yeah.
We all have that character. Where it's like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. He has that
character
accent.
has suspenders.
Yes.
Do we have any?
And he takes off his straw hat and fans himself with it, takes out a handkerchief, dabs his little forehead.
Do we have any like Tennessee? Do we have any?
Probably. At that point,
Texas?
I'm just hearing like super low, and especially the contrast of Ethan and Macon, where Macon's family fucking founded the town and Ethan has lived there his whole life. I was like, you guys should have the same accent.
Yeah.
So most of the actors are just doing generic improv scene Southern.
Great.
They hired no dialect coaches for this movie.
It does not seem like it.
They broke the bank on Jeremy Irons and
They're
Emma
like,
Thompson.
we got no money left.
Man.
Or the dialogue coach is listening to this at home and crying.
They're like, I worked so hard.
I'm really trying.
Yep. Well, you know what? Shout out to you,
Truly.
Jennifer Simons.
Yeah. I'm sure you did your best.
Sorry. We know you did your best.
She is the beautiful creature.
She's the beautifulest.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing the show.
Thank you.
So fun.
We really appreciate that you read a non-normal book for our show.
I'm sorry you had to go through this.
No,
I enjoyed myself.
I chose it.
I enjoyed
Everybody
myself.
should know that I chose it. And I did very much enjoy myself. I knew that the podcast was still going to be super fun.
This was. Thank you.
I was just like, damn, I just want to be reading the book. I want to be reading the book. It's such an intriguing story.
No one's stopping you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess time.
Time.
Do you bother reading a book when you can't talk about it?
We're not recording. We're not recording for a while, Lindsay. You got some time. You're riding a plane.
In Japan.
You're riding a plane. Read a book.
I have too many books. I'm sick of YA. I don't want to do it anymore.
Wow, I can't believe I broke the podcast.
No. I've said that many times before.
She said that the second day of our podcast.
If I'm choosing a book to read, I want it to be like a departure from what I'm always reading. Yeah,
I'm all about that YA.
It's
baby.
like
give me that YA.
Every single person you have on writers panel is, I'm a comedy writer, so I don't want to watch comedy. I'm a drama writer, so I only want to watch comedy. It's like that.
I'm a narcissist. More. All I do is listen to this podcast over and over.
I subscribe to one podcast.
It is mine.
I keep reading YA novels.
When I'm not talking about them on the podcast, I sit at home and I talk to my cats.
I do
about YA.
Oh, I should talk to them about YA. See how they feel. Noodle and LH, this one's for you. Do you have anything that you want to plug, Ben?
Boy, do I. Listen, if you love witches, and
I do.
Who doesn't? Please check out Hexwives. It's out on Halloween. When does this podcast plop? A few weeks?
Like a week and a half from now?
2 weeks.
Before the end of September.
Yeah.
So here's the thing I've learned about comic books in working on this comic and a couple others previous to this. Pre-orders are very important.
Yes.
So here's the story of Hexwives. The gist of it is, what if Samantha Stevens from Bewitched didn't know that she was a super powerful witch and was being held as a housewife, a suburban housewife, against her will? So the first arc is about her figuring it out.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Very cool.
It's
I want to read it now.
It's about the insidious ways that men control women. And the artist is amazing. The colorist is amazing. They are making me look good. If this sounds appealing to you, listener, or anyone in this room,
I will be ordering it.
Please call up your local comic book shop and say, I would like a copy of Hexwives. It's out on Halloween. And then they order it for you. You go in, you pay $4, and you get it on Halloween.
Awesome.
Yay. That's so awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So make sure you guys check that out. Because if you don't, I will never talk to you again.
Wow.
I will never talk at you in this podcast again.
Yep.
Podcast
I
over.
need to see your receipt.
I need a receipt. Yeah.
Tweet your receipts at us, and then we'll continue.
Yeah. Oh,
they do.
And where can people find you online?
They can find me online on Twitter at Ben Blacker. It's my name.
Cool. Wow.
Cool.
Impressive.
That's very impressive. Could not get at Callie Nugent.
I got Lindsay Kaitai.
Yeah.
There's only one other, and she's young. So have fun with that, Lindsay
you
Kaitai.
Fucking dumbass baby.
I think she's like 11.
Oh, extra dumbass baby. You're not even a teenager yet. Fuck that.
Our target audience is 35-year-old librarians. Thank you.
That's why I love this show.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to, if you are reading along with us, the next.
Oh, it's Lost Boys, the movie.
Yeah.
We've departured all over the fucking place.
Yeah, but this will be fun.
Is this a novelization?
No, we're doing in the movie.
We're just watching the movie.
What?
We wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I've never seen that movie, so this will be a big. I know. I already know, Ben. I already know. We don't
need this from you.
We honestly, you're attacking us on home turf. Okay, good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
I think
it's not great.
Okay, great.
We know that.
Can't wait. So we're going to be talking about that next time. So if you are reading / watching along with us, watch that movie. I can't tell you where to find it because
it's on Netflix, bitch.
There we go.
Yeah.
Then there you go. Very easy. Find it on Netflix. Everybody has it. Everybody knows somebody that has a password.
Please enjoy our naked attempt to draw in different types of listeners.
Yes. We're trying to boost those numbers, baby. And if you want to help us boost those numbers, you can always leave us a kindly review on Apple Podcasts. That is the thing that helps us the most. Actually writing a review. I know it sounds really horrible to have to sit there and write something, but it will take you 2 seconds and it will help us tremendously. You can also follow our show on social media at Teen Creeps Pod. That's what it is on everything.
Yep. And if you'd like to support the show, not just with your ears, but with money, you can go to patreon.com/teencreeps. Thank you to all of our current Patreon subscribers. We love you. You are producers of the podcast.
We really, really do appreciate it. And we got some fun content up on there. So
oh my God,
treat your ears, dude.
So much fun content.
So much content.
If you love content, we got content.
If you love content, you are a content consumer. You might be a content consumer if. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will chat with you next week.
Yep. Keep it creepy.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Kelly Nugent, Lindsay Katai, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following